We are back on leg 4 from Goose Bay, Canada to Narsarsuaq, Greenland. It's gonna be our longest flight yet. Our most challenging one, I would say. Most fuel used. The weather seems to be okay-ish. Way better than we had it yesterday, where we came from Stephenville, and it was quite bumpy, rainy, and actually dangerous conditions. So we are cold and dark. There's a couple of things I need to prepare or figure out real quick, but we're gonna take off fairly quickly. I'm gonna show you the route that we're going to take, and then yeah, we'll get going. First things first, let's look at the wind conditions right now here in... Let's look at the wind conditions here real quick. Let me just switch that over here. There we go. So that is Goose Bay Airport, and we see we have a wind coming out of the northwest direction. And if I look up on the more detailed app air weather, and we look at Goose Bay, we have a wind out of 30 degrees at 2 knots right now. So not really a lot of wind. So the idea here would be that we probably gonna take off of this runway here, which, if I'm not totally mistaken, I'll look that up here real quick, is 3-4. Basically we take off the same way we flew in yesterday, and that should do it. Goose Bay Airport. Yeah, 3-4. So we're actually gonna take off 3-4 the same way we came in yesterday, so which is fine. All right, the weather report right now. What do we have? So we have 4 degrees centigrade, dew point -5, which is better than it was yesterday. Humidity is fairly high, and we have pressure 10,007. So we'll switch that over here. 7. There we go. Put that onto our altimeter. And otherwise I don't need any other preparations. What is the weather going to be like on the way over there? We can take a look here real quick. Switch over here to windy.com. So if we head out of Goose Bay, which is over here in this direction, we'll actually kind of get into this stream from this northwesterly direction, and then in the end there's a low here, a low pressure. So we won't get a lot of wind once we go over here. Maybe at the end we'll get a little bit of backwind. So, which is fine. Totally fine here. And let's do make sure our plane gets set up, and let's make sure we get rid of that real quick. Let's make sure we get the hell out of here. Let's put position lights on. Generator is good. This is set as well. They are all switched off. Ignition is on right now. I don't know why it's always on when you first start up. Alright. That is good. Battery master is on. We'll put fuel pumps on. Put the starter on. Oop. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. Engine is on. Very good. Let's get the right engine on, engine number 2. Distance for our travel today will be around 680 miles. We have a range of 1700 miles, so we should be fine. We have enough fuel in reserve. We're basically full. Both engines are running smoothly. Ignition off. Generators on. Oh, recon. Just make sure. And we'll obviously put ice protection on at one point, because our temperature is basically very similar than we had yesterday. It's slightly better conditions, but we don't wanna have any trouble. Initial altitude will go 10,500 and at a climb rate of 1600. Should be great. Make sure that the gyro is activated. Alright. Let's make sure we get a hold of air traffic control here. Probably would make sense if I switch on our navigation system. We are inside airspace, yes. And I have already preloaded the route over the flight planner. It's an IFR. So we'll ask for clearance. Let's first listen to
State airport information, November 1552, Zulu, wind 073 at 3, visibility greater than 20 miles, sky conditions 3,200 scattered, temperature 4, dew point -5, altimeter 2974, ILS, runway 8 in use, landing and departing runway 8. VFR aircraft say direction of flight, all aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have November. Goose Bay Airport.
all right.
Wind 073 at 3. Goose Bay clearance delivery. Hotel 6982. Ready to copy IFR clearance to Bravo Golf Bravo Whiskey. Hotel 6982 is cleared to Bravo Golf Bravo Whiskey Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 5000. Departure frequency is 119.5, squawk 3035. Hotel 6982, cleared Bravo Golf Bravo Whiskey Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 5000, departure on 119.5, squawk 3035. Hotel 6982, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Alright, so that's the second frequency that we need to remember is, what did he say? 119. Point 5. Alright, so departure frequency is in. Initial altitude of 5000. And this should be also good. Let me just make sure. Request taxi. We can actually request taxi, why not? I wonder, this should get us out 3-4.
Hotel 6982 with whiskey, ready to taxi IFR. Hotel 6982, taxi to and hold short of runway 8 via taxiway.
Runway 8? Why don't they send us out runway 8 now?
119.11 ready. Taxiing hold short runway 8 using taxiway Papa Foxtrot. Hotel 6982.
Alright, I should be good. We don't need that right now. We're all on. Let's make sure we close the passenger door. We should have done it slightly earlier. And we'll do let's get a nice quick turn here. Alright, so my GPS shows me the progressive taxiway here now, which is pretty nice. Alright. Zero 08. Yeah, I guess because the wind is coming from 03, so 08 is not bad to take off. So this flight is going to be the longest flight. So it'll be endurance. But I do not have time to fly this leg during the week, so I thought I'll put the longer leg in today. Get out of Goose Bay as quickly as I can. And then we should be good. It was a pretty nice flight yesterday. So let's hope this one goes as good as well. Actually, guys, hold on 1 second. I gotta fix something here on my screen. Let me just park here real quick. And I'll be right back. All right. I think we're good. Let's make sure we get this party started. Our cruising speed will be around 170 to 180 knots, which equates to, I'd say, about 270, hopefully, depending on the wind, ground speed. And we're gonna go to 2,500 feet if we get cleared for it. So it should be all good. By the way, I didn't mention yesterday, I forgot at the end to show the landing statistics, but maybe I can do that right now while we're taxiing. Let me switch it over here real quick. So if we look at my bookings, actually, what does it show you the flights? Logbook? Few flight. Yep, so this was our flight yesterday. We got a pretty minus 39 FPM, feet per minute, which is the smoothest landing I've had in a long time. And partially it had that to do with us having nice winds too on the landing. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I was pretty happy when I actually did the landing. I forgot to actually mention it, so apologize for that. But yeah, we see ourselves taxiing here. And actually we're going on the runway that we used partially as a taxiway yesterday. How are we doing with oil temperature? You know what, let me open those two right now. Keep our oil temperature down a little bit. All right. Make sure that we get into nav fairly quickly. Actually, really heading straight out on our nav course, which is pretty neat. This should be a lot of fun, that flight. At the end of the taxiway, make sure we get this. Alright, that's alright. And we're holding short here. Not that there's any traffic going to be here, but we're gonna hold short here. At 8F. There we go. Parking brakes in. Let us call. Let's make sure we beacons on. Lights on, so we're all good to go. Put that on strobe. Make sure we call
departure, runway 8. Hotel 6982 cleared for takeoff, runway 8. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8.
All right.
6982.
We got our departure clearance, our takeoff clearance. All right. Departure frequency is in. Flight director is on. We'll close, put the anti-air on. And now we are heading off to Greenland. Let's do this. Initial power. Let the props come up. Power set. By the way, we are not using and takeoff. We're not using flaps today because of the wind that we get. We don't really need flaps today. Tap in brakes and gear up. And we are flying basically straight out. I will acknowledge that. We're climbing, we don't really need to have a lot of input right now either.
Goose Bay departure, Hotel 6982 is climbing through 1,300 for 5,000. Hotel 6982, Goose Bay departure, roger, altimeter 2974. Hotel 6982, turn left heading 060, proceed on course, climb and maintain 5,000. Turn left heading 060, proceed on course, climb and maintain 5,000. Hotel 6982.
Let's make sure we climb a little bit higher, or faster, sorry. And we already can put the prop a little bit back. Keep the lights on till we're at about 10,000. Beautiful environment here. It looks so much better when it's not raining. It's beautiful. Pretty neat. Actually, let's climb out 1200. We have enough speed. And we are IFR, so we are having air traffic control aware of us, which is pretty nice. And we'll hopefully get our clearance for maybe 12,000 would be nice.
Hotel 6982, climb and maintain flight level 190. Climb and maintain flight level 190.
Alright, we get 190. Let's make sure we outclimb here the clouds a little bit. There seems to be some sort of not particularly happy with that weather here right now, but there's not a lot we can do. I still haven't figured out how to deal with the pressurization system. Just don't know enough about it. Pressure air recirculated just during flight. Yep, it's windy. Let's close that again. And we are off. Pretty dang cool. And this is still kind of like the inner part of the Labrador Sea, basically washing in, but we're not actually over the sea yet. So we have 655 nautical miles to go. About 2 hours and 50 minutes. And we're leaving the North American continent. For the first time in our challenge, we actually, technically speaking, leave a continent slash... Oh, look at that, there are the clouds everywhere. Pretty dope. Pretty neat. Haven't sat here in a while. What a great view. What a great plane too. It's really climbing as fast as I would like it to be. For the clouds. temperature, and we're falling with the temperature. We are in the minus degrees right now. Hopefully poke.
Contact Standard Center on 120.4. 120.4. Hotel 6982.
We'll call him in a second. Let's also make sure we switch to altitude.
Standard Center, Hotel 6982 is climbing through 8,600 for flight level 190. Hotel 6982, Standard Center, Roger. Altimeter 2974.
Alright, altimeter is still at 2974. We have put our squawk box on 3035 and an altitude. So we should be doing, at least right now, everything as we should. Ground speed is increasing. Once we're on cruising altitude, we'll decrease the prop RPMs a little bit more. We're almost at 10,000 now. We can put the landing lights off. Position lights are on. Seatbelt sights can go off. Make sure we have a service DIs on for right now till we literally surpass the clouds. Just realized we weren't even armed, which is pretty curious. We're at 10,000 now. Alright. There we go. Let's pick up some speed. Climbing out over the clouds. For the last couple of clouds here. Yeah, but we're making progress, which is neat. Once we are at a cruising altitude, we can actually switch the icing off to get a little bit more power out of our engines. Almost at -10. Temperatures all look good. Oh, perfect. And we're slowly climbing out. We're losing a little bit of speed here now. Which is still fine. Officially heading over the VOR limit. This is a reminder for the cabin pressure. It's just... I have it on pressurized air. I do have that on, but I don't know how it works. So we are out now at our optimum speed, at least for the aircraft. Our ground speed is steadily increasing, which is neat. And we're almost at 15,000. There's a little bit of icy conditions. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be just fine. Yeah, I might experience a little bit of freezing rain up here. Just looking at the weather, doesn't look that bad. Once we climb out of teens, we should be fine. Yeah, most clouds will be gone at 25. Right. We are close to flying out on the open sea into the Labrador Sea. Ah, this is beautiful. I see a lot of snow out here too. Yep. So we had 7,000. I'm actually gonna decrease our ascent here a little bit by 200. Actually, let's go to 900. Just maintain the airspeed. And I think we should get our final clearance to 25,000 quite soon. Flight level 250. Alright, Hector 60982. Climb, maintain flight level 250. We're good.
Hotel 6982, contact standard center on 128.325. 128.325 for Hotel 6982. Standard Center, Hotel 6982 is climbing through flight level 190 before flight level 250. Hotel 6982, Standard Center, Roger.
Alright, let's set the altimeter to 29902. There we go. Because we are above 18,000. This is a standard altimeter. And we are going to our cruising altitude. But in a comfortable way. I think we have 500 at now. Now we could go. I think 700 is fine. And we should probably arm it. There we go. What's the temperature here? We are at -20. I think we should be good. Switch the NTIs off here. Don't need surface DIs. Pitot we keep on. Gonna get a little bit of wind. It's gonna be a little bit shaky because we are having a crosswind from the northwest that kind of hits us a little bit. It shouldn't be all too bad, but we are basically, it's gonna slow us down a little bit as we get closer to Greenland. Flight level 210. Check the fuel here real quick. Fuel is all good. Yeah, we're having enough fuel. Ton of fuel. We see how our maximum airspeed now is dropping here a little bit. And I will increase our ascent slightly so we don't need to slow down the airplane. Actually trade altitude speed or vertical speed with horizontal speed a little bit. Pretty high clouds up here. Our ground speed is 327 nautical miles. Holy crap. This is... We're gonna be there in no time. I think 25,000 feet or flight level 250 is perfect. And we're gonna descend around 90 miles away, which is not before the next 2 hours, but still. As I said, we're trading now vertical speed with horizontal speed. Which will even out as soon as we level out at 250. And we're now just leaving. Take a look here real quick. We're just now leaving mainland Canada. Who do we have here? We have Orlando, Atlanta, a couple of planes that crossing the ocean right now. So there are leaps ahead of us. It's all good. I don't really particularly like those clouds. Hopefully this is not just... I want to be in those clouds. Still have like 1,300 feet to go till our final altitude. But yeah. Breathtaking. I thought it to be a little bit... I was hoping it to be a little bit more stable up here, but it is quite windy, and it's that wind that I was talking about, the crosswind that we're getting from the northwest. Yeah. ...320 knots ground speed, which is perfect. And then we'll settle in. Up. And the clouds just lifted. We leave them behind us? Yep. Couple of clouds here, but as we enter the open water, wow, this is incredible. As we enter the open water, we are fine. And we're now switching to altitude hold. We're now on altitude hold. We're leveling off. Should be gaining a little bit more airspeed. And we're in cruise. I'm gonna monitor our speed here a little bit just to make sure. Alright, 555 nautical miles. It is quite bumpy right now at 25,000 feet. Cruising. Ground speed 360 is perfect. Let's hope this flight goes as smooth as it can go. There should be no issues. There should be no issues. Yeah, we are going to be there in 1.5 hours. This is not going to be that bad. Okay. Contact again the sender.
Hotel 6982 with you. Hotel 6982 Andrew Center. Roger.
Still a little bumpy here. But in my opinion we're making good ways. About an hour left. It's crazy. Still almost 400 nautical miles away. If we keep up the ground speed, as I said, 350 is pretty damn impressive. Hopefully the wind helps us out a little bit. Yeah, we are slowly... Looking at the weather map here real quick, and I mean just... Yeah, the wind is alright-ish at our destination airport. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. So within on our last third of our trip, we'll actually be getting some wind from the back, and that is pretty... It should speed us up a little bit and reduce our fuel consumption. Not that we are hyper concerned about it, because we're not. Just something to keep in mind. Yeah, fuel is doing fantastic. I mean, we could probably fly all the way to Iceland at this point. What I will be doing though, just making sure I will save this scenario. I know this is a little dangerous. We call that leg 4 save 1. I just want to make sure we have some save point in case something goes wrong. Don't trust P3D on long flights. So right behind us, what I see on Project Fly, we have probably A320s. Let me see what we got here. It's a Boeing 777 behind us from KLM. Then we have, is that an Air Canada A330-300. Then we also have the hours. Oh wow, Austrian Airlines 66 from Chicago to Vienna. I wonder if I know that person. I wonder. That's a 767 7,300. Not sure about that. Just interesting. I talked to Chris Disaster this morning, and he told me that on Sim Marketplace, the Chicago O'Hare Airport and I think Midway and Executive are free to download or to purchase. So I did that, and it's just interesting that Austrian Airlines flies from exactly this airport. So it could be him. I'm not certain though. I am not certain. So yeah, with our ground speed and with our we're gonna get that wind fairly soon, which is pretty nice. For the next 150 miles, we're gonna get that wind from the back. Which is pretty neat. In the meantime, I am actually curious. What we can do here. Oh, it gives you nice info. Runway 624. We're probably gonna go in 6 if I'm not totally mistaken. Yeah, we're gonna go in 6. That's 1735. That's a weather radar. Okay. Avidyne. Pretty cool, I keep that on. Don't need that bright. Oh, and I really love this plane, just the way it feels everywhere. So well made visually. We'll squeeze through here. Actually wonder what's in there. Just nothing. I guess the inside is not modeled. It's all good. Look at the map real quick. So we see there's a couple of planes around here. Is a Boeing 747 cargo. Also going from Chicago to Luxembourg. We have the KLM here. The Air Canada here. The A330 and the Boeing 767-300. There's actually quite a lot of airplanes around. About who do we have up here? We have an A330 from Aer Lingus.
Traffic alert, 12 o'clock, less than 1 mile, flight level 320, Bombardier CRJ700, report them in sight.
Alright, that was not for us. We are not orbit. Aer Lingus up here. 747 Ramstein Air Base, McKellen Airfield. That must be military. Who do we else have here? Is that the Air Force One, maybe? $42,000 feet, 500 knots ground speed. We have a Swiss Air Boeing 777 going to Zurich. We have another Aer Lingus going from Seattle to Dublin. Quite interesting. And then who do we have here? We have an Air France. Bangor International, that's from Maine, yeah, to Luxembourg, Findel International. That's a weird route. Boeing 747. Wow, okay. And it's our plane. We are slowly creeping our way to Greenland. Maybe it's a little bit more steady now and calm. I think the wind is changing into our favor, in our favor. Because if you look here, so we started out here, flying over here. And we're about here now, maybe a little bit further up, so the wind is turning into our favor. So the last, because we are flying in here, right, into this region, and you see the wind is turning into our favor, so we get a little bit of backwind, and then it turns around. So when we land into Narsarsuaq, there we go. is going to be our weather radar. Doesn't really show anything. Oh, it just shows at the bottom. Yeah, you don't get weather up here, which is fine. It's all good. So yeah, once that wind hits, we should be speeding up. I wonder if we actually can see this. Still ground speed's the same, so I'm not gonna change anything on the throttle. We're just gonna keep cruising here. And now ETA is 50 minutes. And we're 300 miles away. Yeah, we're really speeding up quite. I mean, that once we were at 25,000 feet, we're making great ways here. So yeah, we're gonna have 3 legs from Canada to Greenland, Greenland to Iceland, and Iceland to Norway that are longer. So those are, at least for right now, the longest trips we're gonna take, or legs. So there's gonna be 4, 5, and 6 will be longer ones. Talking above 2 hours. And the other ones should be nice legs. So I was hoping I could get those longer legs in over the weekend, so we can have the shorter ones during the week, but we'll see. Actually, that duration doesn't really bother me all too much thinking about it. I mean, we're gonna arrive in within the next hour, so that was not as bad as I initially thought it would be. I guess if you fly longer flights on a low altitude, like if you fly VFR like we did in Stephenville, I mean, you're flying 300 miles and it almost takes you also 2 hours with preparation. So those high altitude IFR flights are preferable in this case, especially with this twin turboprop. You're making a lot of miles here. And our fuel is still, I mean, I looked up, the plane has a range. The Cheyenne 2, which is a modification of the original PA-31T, has a range of 1,700 nautical miles. I think nautical miles? Yeah, I think it's nautical miles. Look that up real quick. That does make a difference though. PA-31T Cheyenne 2 range 1,700 miles. So that's obviously way more than we need right now. We do not need that much range for today. So that's about 1,470 nautical miles. So way more than we fly. Not even close to that. Basically, that's why I said we could probably make it to Iceland with proper winds You can make it to Iceland. Or just get gas in Greenland and just keep hopping. Would work too. You could probably fly that flight in one day. No problem. Yeah, I don't mean in real life. Shouldn't be that. I'm actually wondering, you could probably fly the entire Atlantic in a day. No problem. Just from our perspective, it's like 2 or 3 hours to Greenland, 2 hours to Iceland, 2 or 3 hours to Iceland, and then probably another 3 hours. Yeah, 9-hour flight. You could go over the ocean. Just cross the northern Atlantic this way. And we're gonna enter airspace probably within the next, what, 15 minutes? Take a look here real quick. We see that over here we're entering Greenlandic airspace, which I think will trigger a radio change on our end. Because right now we're still at Gander, and I think we're gonna lose Gander. I mean, fairly soon. Is there some sun coming through? What? There is. And we're speeding up. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but we are at least getting currently, which is weird. So we should be actually experiencing the opposite. We should lose knots indicated and gain ground speed, but it's the opposite. So we're actually experiencing some wind from the front right now, which gives us obviously more lift, but it will shorten our, prolong our actual flight a little bit. 238 miles out, about 270 miles. I think it is raining out there. Let's make sure. So we put the surface DIs on. Lose a little bit of airspeed, but I want to make sure that our engines are fine. It should be fine, but I'm not a big fan of the moisture out there, of the rain that we just had. How can it be rain? It's like minus, what, 30 outside? Losing ground speed a little bit too. Just fine with me as long as we are safe and sound. I'd rather fly a little bit longer. Should be fine. Up. So within the next half hour, we're gonna start our descent. And we'll prepare for landing on runway 08, I think it was. Let me just double check here. Oh, 06 is the one that we want. I don't think that runway exists any longer. I don't think this is accurate. Temperature there is 34 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 or 2 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I don't see the second The wind is negligible. There's really nothing that we need to worry about there. Let me check on air weather. What the weather is like in Narsarsuaq. Narsarsuaq. There we go. 44 minutes ago, wind from 240 at 4 knots. So that's perfect if we land in. Was it 6? Yeah, that's perfect. Well, kind of perfect. So we're gonna have wind from, but it's only 4 knots. Not that big of a deal. Visibility 3.7 miles. That's good. Weather rain. It's raining there right now. A few clouds at 200 feet. Broken clouds at 2,800 and overcast at 3,200. Temperature 1 degree centigrade. 2.0 degrees. Humidity 93. Yeah, that's definitely something. Pressure is 1002. So that is definitely something we should be concerned about. It's gonna get a little bit better. The forecast says yeah, we gotta be careful. We need anti-ice. We wanna make sure we don't have an issue going down there. Because the dew point is just, it's at 0. Relative humidity is 93%, that's pretty high. Pressure is 1002 inches per mercury. Mercury per inches. Hectopascal, I mean. Alright. Contact center. So we're actually handing off.
1.3, Hotel 6982.
1.1.3. That's exactly. We see it exactly. So we are right there, the handover. I mean, it's super accurate. Handover just happened right before we entered the airspace. So in that sense, we are now officially in Greenlandic territory. Quite nice. About 95 miles, nautical miles left before we are starting our descent. And the good thing with that particular flight is we're basically flying directly in. There's really no special approach we need to do. We're flying in straight from the ocean and we'll be fine. So our ground speed right now 333. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think we can live with that. Estimated arrival time is 34 minutes. I am going to do another save just in case. I'm really sorry to kind of break the, but I do feel better knowing we have it saved. Hopefully we don't need it. So the wind seems to be... Yeah, we get 1 knot from the north right now. At the Narsarsuaq airport. 2 knots from the north. Actually perfect the way we come in. A little bit of wind from the front. And we are... yeah, we're getting this back wind now. We should be getting it. It is raining again. Not particularly happy. It did say that it would rain, and we actually do get the rain right now. This will decrease our airspeed further. Everything else is good. Oil temps is good. Fuel pressure is good. Oil pressure is also good. The green. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And you know, 150 or 160 knots indicated still gives us 320 knots ground speed. Nautical miles ground speed. Should be very good. Actually, she indicated when we get the approach vector from Narsarsuaq. Taking a look at the wind map here real quick. So at between 600 meters or around 2,000 feet, we have a 2-knot wind from the northeast, and then at the bottom it gets a little bit less, so just slight headwind. Once we come in, it's not too bad. So if we go in, we'll probably come in around 3,000 feet, and you see there's a little... Yeah, we're gonna get a little side wind. It's gonna be a little bit windy when we try to land in here. We get the southeast wind here. It's gonna give us a little bit of a headache, but not too much. Shouldn't be too bad. Everything else is doing well as well. Here again, the entire map. And if we overlap that with the secondary map here a little bit, we just bring that kind of ish on the same. So you see, you bring it up a little bit so it's similar. Alright, that should be good. See, we're just now receiving that wind from the aft. And then once we're landing, we're gonna get the side wind around the last probably 50 miles in. There we go. Already. So we're approaching our... So if we have 30 minutes left, obviously we're gonna slow down and the time will go up a little bit, but let's assume we're gonna reach the next 10 minutes. So we're gonna have 20 minutes at 2,500 feet. So if we go down to 3,000 at 1,500, we should be fine. Actually, I think we can go lower. We can go at 2,500. We don't need to go that high. And that should do the trick for us. Then hopefully we'll get a good landing in. If everything goes well, I might gonna do a replay afterwards of the landing. You can go back and look at your landing after the fact, because it does instant replay. I never did that before on stream. I did it many times outside of stream. So alright. Yeah, that flight was really comfortable so far. Hopefully it stays that way. That'd be great. Checking the fuel again. We are getting lower, but we are still not even at, we're around 60% full still. We're around 2.4 pounds, 2,400 pounds of fuel on board. We still have good 1,600, so well good. No issue to land, and no issue to get where we need to go. Well, it would be nice if it's nice when we land. I like the sun coming in. Sun is on our back. Also incredible how this airplane looks. It's really nice mid the stitches and stuff. It could be higher resolution, but you know what? I am super happy with it. Can't complain. Get a little bit more ground speed going. We don't need the de-ice right now. Yeah, so I'm looking right now on... We're at about 100 knots. We're in from the back right now. Approximately. It's coming from the south. I assume that's the part of the jet stream. At 25,000 feet. Flight level 250. It's quite interesting. Just gonna show you that real quick. So we are around here at 25,000, flight level 2500, or sorry, flight level 250. Here we see that's for flight level 240. It says it's around 100 knots if you go up to flight level 30. So we're about around 100 knots, a little bit more maybe. And we are not exactly flying north, so we're getting it slightly from the... There's a crosswind. That's why our plane is shaking a little bit. And it's pushing us north. So we probably have to work against the... Jesus Christ. There we go. Not a lot of nose trim, but the elevator pitch is all pretty heavy. Alright. We are almost ready to descend. Almost. We're not in a hurry right now. Double checking the airport conditions. Yep, we have a nice northeast breeze. This is perfect. I mean, if we land in this way, it is perfect. We get a little bit of headwind, which should smooth the landing. We should be perfect. Current pressure. We got in 7 minutes ago. They're at 1002 hectopascal. Okay. Still same temperature, 0 degrees centigrade, dew point, humidity is the same. Visibility went down a little bit, 1.9 miles. And we have light snow. So it is snowing there. Very soon we'll be I wonder if we're taking over to approach at one point. 94 miles, we're very close to the light sector here. All right, let's plan our descent. So we want to go to 2,500. And we're going down at... Gonna arm that. And we are going down at a 1,500 rate.
Hotel 6982, you're at 300 below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 250.
Okay, so they don't let us...
Flight level 250, Hotel 6982.
Hopefully they know that we are... I would really like to descend at one point. I forgot that we IFR.
Hotel 6982, descend and maintain 11,000.
Alright.
Descend and maintain 11,000. Hotel 6982.
Alright. 11,000 it is. And it is raining, and we are putting on our de-ice. That's the first parts of Greenland over here. Wow, pretty impressive to see that. I actually saw it one point. I flew from Europe to North America, and we took a fairly high or a fairly northern course. So we actually flew over the tip of Greenland, or just short of the south coast, and I was actually able to see and make some pictures of Greenland, and it was a beautiful day. It was crystal clear. It was pretty impressive. There's our wind that we're talking about. Once we're below 18,000 feet, we will be switching to 1002. All right, 1002 it is.
Hotel 6982, yours by 4 miles southwest, turn left heading 045, expect vectors, visual, runway 24, approach.
All right, we are going runway 24. Why did they want to put us in runway 24?
Turn left heading 045, expect vectors, visual, runway 24, approach.
All right, we gotta head 045. How's that a left turn? Oh, yeah, it is a left turn. What am I talking about? Okay. So we are HDG select. So they're gonna let us land from the north. quite interesting. Back with the speed a little bit more. And the snow is starting. As predicted. We have snow. Light snow, but we have snow. Well, that's quite interesting. Snowy landing. Pretty cool. Almost at flight level 110. And I'll do make a save here now too, just in case. Make sure we'll have that save. Okay. That was odd. The snow just stopped, or what was that? Yeah, that's Rex that screws you over a little bit with the weather generation. Wow, that's so cool. I like the snow approach. That is awesome. So they keep us at 11,000 for right now. You know what? I'm gonna switch on strobe on. Let me switch on the landing lights already. Just a sucker for the screenshots, making sure we sure I get that screenshot in. That's a pretty epic one. Where are they sending us? So we're gonna come in from the north.
Turn right, heading 075.
075.
Right, heading 075. Hotel 6982.
Let's make sure we get this landing nice and clean. That would be awesome. Quite windy, as I said. I do have an approach button here when if I go on nav and put the ILS in, but I don't think they have ILS there. Seems like the snow let off a little bit, which is good.
Hotel 6982. Descend and maintain 6,500.
6,500.
6,500. Hotel 6982.
Let's get some fresh air in. Nice. Some Greenlandic air.
Hotel 6982, turn right heading 115. Turn right heading 115. Hotel 6982.
115.
Hotel 6982, turn left heading 085. Turn left heading 085. Hotel 6982.
Zero 085. He's vectoring me in, which is pretty neat. Good, because I see nothing. I guess the wind changed a little bit. That might be the reason why he wanted me to go, because now it comes from the southeast, so careful of our airspeed. We want to yeah, we want to stay clear of those mountains, most definitely. So he probably is gonna give us a base lag 120 maybe, 135 maybe. So we're basically flying past the airport to our south, and we'll probably do a base lag to the south and then turn in west or southwest. Temperature's right around freezing. Fuel, we're doing actually pretty good on all On all accords, to be quite honest. Alright, so we are north 40 miles off the airport. I hope he's bringing me in soon. Wouldn't mind if we could do our base leg now. What is he doing? I can't even see the airport anymore. What the hell is going on here? Can I land, please?
Hotel 69er.
Finally.
Turn right, heading 135. Turn right, heading 135.
I was wondering about that.
82.
Okay, 135 it is. That is a safe distance that this guy wants to give us.
Hotel 69er 82. Turn right, heading 160. Turn right,
160 it is.
Hotel 69er 82.
I guess the weather's not gonna be all too nice today. else we need to do? Actually fine. It would be nice if it stays like this, the weather. I can actually see the runway.
Hotel 6982, descend and maintain 5,800. Hotel 6982, turn right, heading 220, descend and maintain 5,800. Turn right, heading 220, descend and maintain 5,800. Hotel 6982. Hotel 6982, please expedite your descent to 5,800.
And the rain starts. Props up.
Hotel 6982, airport is at yours, 1 o'clock, 10 miles, turn right, heading 240, climb and maintain 5,800, report runway in sight. Turn right, heading 240, climb and maintain 5,800, Hotel 6982.
Don't really see anything.
Hotel 6982, don't have the runway. Hotel 6982, airport is at your 12 o'clock, 9 miles, turn right, heading 240, report runway in sight. Turn right, heading 240, Hotel 6982.
Alright, it's a little bit too fast for flaps full. this massive cloud in front of me. Slow down a little bit more. Because we had 60 ME basically. I still don't see the airport. I just don't see it. We're like 4 miles out and I have no idea where the airport is.
Hotel 6982, don't have the runway. Hotel 6982, airport is 4 miles at your 11 o'clock. Turn left heading 240, 34 runway in sight. Turn left heading 240, Hotel 6982.
I literally see nothing. That is definitely not good.
Hotel 6982, descend and maintain 4,600. Descend and maintain 4,600. Hotel 6982.
Yeah, we are just flying over. That was a shitty.
Hotel 6982, please expedite your descent to 4,600.
Yep, that was awful.
Hotel 6982, I have the runway in sight. Hotel 6982, you are 1 mile northwest, descend and maintain 2,100, cleared visual, runway 24, approach. Switch to advisory on 122.9er. Descend and maintain 2,100, cleared visual, runway 24, approach. Advisory on 122.9er, Hotel 6982. Bravo Golf, Bravo Whiskey, traffic, Hotel 6982, flying the missed approach. Bravo Golf, Bravo Whiskey, traffic, Hotel 6982, going around.
Alright, so we're basically screwed here. So what I'm gonna do is we are now at 240, we're going 60. This tomfoolery lasted long enough. Alright, so we gotta fly out. I'm just gonna do my own. Fuck it. We're going 180. We're flying out and then we... That's why I don't like flying IFR with P3D. It's just awful. So we're gonna fly out. This is ridiculous. Apparently there are 2 airstrips and 2-4 and this is the 06. We're gonna go in 06. Screw it. And we will be taking the turn shortly. And then we'll fly the baby in ourselves. Actually, we're gonna stay on altitude hold. We're gonna switch HDG off and we have manual. Autopilot is off. And we are flying manual. I see the runway. Landing gear is extended. We'll make sure there's a giant iceberg right here on the water. A little bit too right. Careful that we don't get too low. That was an interesting one, but we did it. Whoa. I see, and we were too quick too. There we go. Wow. Alright. So much for IFR in P3D. It sucks. Couple of planes here. We go to the left, to the right here. Let's put the flaps in. Let's go over here to the stand. All right. Welcome to Greenland. It's actually not a real parking spot, but I think we're fine. I think we're fine for right now. Now that was interesting. We did it, however, it was not the most pleasant flight. Off, pumps off, lights off, those two off as well. We can shut down our 2 engines. Are off. And battery master is off as well. Now that was interesting. IFR completely screwed us around. I'll bring up the map in a second. I mean, look at that. The IFR guidance from the tower led us around here, all the way here. That is over the airport. We took a turn and flew in manually. Well, with that being said, we did land, so that's a bonus. We can book the flight, and we are in Greenland, just as we planned on doing. Not the best weather, but we are here. I'm pretty happy about that. It was not an easy landing. It's probably one of the most nerve-wracking ones that we did. But I must say I'm pretty happy we were able to manually fly it in, no problem. Some cars over there. There's a little town here. Pretty nice. See, that airport is actually not that bad. There's actually more stuff going on than I thought it would be. Pretty neat. So I'll check out the environment here. So this is it for the Greenland leg 4. We will be back for leg 5, going to Iceland, which would be, I assume, a very similar length of flight, but it should be vastly easier, because we're not gonna fly VFR anymore, unless we fly VATSIM. But for right now, let's just do VFR, and we should be good. Well, thanks everybody for joining me today. Before we head out, let's just double check on the landing, and we had a 157, which is okay. I was not as buttery smooth as I thought it would be. It was a little bit more stressful, and otherwise we was the entire time block time 3 hours and 13, and we used almost 450 kilograms of, or almost 1,000 pounds of fuel. So that is that. With that, I leave you. Have a good Sunday, and we hear each other. Bye bye.